Hi lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our lovely space. If you are new here or you're just joining us for the first time, you're more than welcome. We love to welcome new people. My name is Tola. Some of the OGs on the channel probably remember me from my healthcare content. Obviously, when we came into the country back in 2021, this was the first job that I got in early 2022, February 14 to be precise. I remember my first day like it was yesterday. I was so excited to finally get a job. I mean, you can just imagine coming into the UK in December and, just trying to settle down and everything. And the reality of bills hit and you still don't have a job. I was looking for work in unexpected places. I applied to so many places and I was so excited when I got the call back just to say that, okay, I will be resuming on Valentine's Day of 2022. I'll just be giving you a quick rundown of my whole healthcare journey, and obviously from the title of today's video, that I'm going to be talking about some things that I have shied away from obviously from this channel and has impacted the trajectory of my channel, and also just how the content on this channel has been since 2022 thereabout. I'm just going to try to do it as subtle as possible, just so that I don't discourage someone else who might be going through something similar. I just speak my truth and just talk about my experience and what I've taken away from the whole journey, the whole experience, and hopefully this is able to help someone and better inform someone who might be looking to get into healthcare or is already in healthcare and is looking for a way out. So like I said, we came in December of 2021, and when we came in, I had to go out and work because my husband came in on a study visa and I was going to be the primary breadwinner, so to say, of the home, because my husband couldn't work full-time because of the conditions around his own visa category. And so coming in as his dependent, I was able to work on limited hours, so naturally I was going to be the one working more hours than my husband, while he focused on his studies and also helped out with the boys. All right, so when we came in, my first son was 5 years and my youngest was 2 going on 3, and at the time my 5-year-old was already fully into school. He wasn't on any rationing of any kind. However, my second born, who was 2 years at the time, was only given 15 hours by the government because he was just going to be 3, and when you're 3, that's when you get the full 30 hours. So he was only given 15 hours, meaning that we could only take him to school for 3 hours per day, making a total of 5 days in a week. And he was going to school from 12 in the afternoon. I will pick him up by 3 in the afternoon with his brother, and that was stressful, meaning that I was making nothing less than 6 trips to and from school each day. So take my eldest to school, come back, take my youngest to school, 12:15, come back, then go back and get both boys and come back home. All right, so 6 trips per day, and it was not funny. It was stressful, it was draining, and between all of that, my husband and I was shuttling that. Most of the time I was responsible for picking up, because by that time my husband is usually attending lectures, and it was a mess. It was chaos. It was everybody felt it because it was not funny at all. When I got the job, my job was predominantly night. As a matter of fact, it was the condition for which I signed my contract, because the dynamics of my family could not allow me to work during the day because I had school runs. And also around that time my YouTube channel was taking off and I was getting quite a few promotions and ads, sponsorships with my videos, and I had to film content during the day and during the night. No matter whatever time I found, I just had to film content because it was an additional source of income. We will get to that later. That's another factor. So I had a side hustle that also took my time during the day. I was basically living like a vampire. Sometimes I was not even sleeping like 5 hours in a stretch, like for weeks. Sometimes I'm working 5 days in a week minimum. I'm working 6 days in a week, which is like normal, and sometimes I work 7 days back to back. It was madness. It was pure madness. There were times where I could not attend church for maybe 3 weeks back to back. I could just attend church once in a month, and let's not even talk about midweek service. So I'm just giving you a backstory of how rough it was, and I was still able to show up online because obviously I was documenting my journey, and I was also making a side hustle from sponsorships on my videos and product reviews and all of that. So I had to keep it up. It was not a choice. I had to, because it was an additional source apart from my YouTube AdSense and also my salary. So I started off in a care home where I was predominantly working nights, and that was my entire shift pattern for a year and a half. At this time I was sleeping on the couch more than I was sleeping in my bed, because I had to be downstairs to hear the doorbell, to pick up parcels for product reviews, to remember to put off the food that I'm cooking I'll be cooking and trying to catch some sleep. I'll be cooking and trying to edit videos. It was chaos. It wasn't funny. I felt like I was in a constant moving train because nothing was making sense, and it was just back to back chaos. On top of all of that, I was gaining weight like no man's business because my entire body functions were upside down. I was not resting at all. I'm sure if I kept an eye on it, my blood pressure was also up at some point, but that was just how it had to be because there was no other way around it. Now, at this time, I was still showing up, vlogging, putting out content because I had to keep up appearances. Like I said, money was involved. I hope this video will make sense because I'm just going to be all over the place because there was a lot going on, and I'm just trying to remember it and articulate my words so that you guys understand the whole backlog of everything that's been happening. This is not to discourage anybody, but it's just to share my experience and how I was able to pull through. Also, for the physical aspect, I was having some serious body pain along with the weight gain. For anyone who has worked in a care home, you know what the staffing issue is. As a matter of fact, anyone working in healthcare at all knows what the staffing issue is. You can be attending to multiple patients more than is required for the normal ration that you are supposed to cater to. I'm talking about a ward of about 46 patients. It could just be you and another carer responsible for the care of all of these patients, and you're supposed to do documentation at the same time. You're supposed to go on your break. You're supposed to function and make sure that everything is right and all of the patients are seen to. You know how the people who are going to take over from you the next shift, how they're going to scrutinize your work, so you know that you cannot afford to make any mistakes. So all of this, you have to factor that into it. So every time I would go to work, apart from, you know, just the mental stress of, oh, I'm going to work again for another 12 hours, you would think about it very well. And I always said a prayer before I went on shift that, Lord, please, today I cannot make any mistake. I will not make any mistake. Nothing goes wrong in my shift. No one dies on my shift. I would say these words over and over again. I will meditate on it because I had to be careful because there was just a lot at stake. Coupled with all of that, I was having some terrible back pains that I much later found out it was quite serious. I talked about that while I was in a care home. I bought a number of girdles that I was wearing to shift. Sometimes I wore 2 girdles just to make sure that my back had proper support. It was excruciating. I would come back from shift and my husband would have to massage my back, and it was so terrible. This pain lasted for almost a year, even after I'd left care. Now, when I left care, I didn't announce it here on the channel because I was just grateful for the relief. Apart from the back pain, my sleep pattern was completely disrupted to the point where even when I left permanent nights, I still found it very difficult to sleep during the night. I would be awake I'll be awake for hours and I will not be able to sleep. I'll be craving food at night. Even though I didn't used to eat on my night shift, I will be craving food. Like, if I still had to make time for my family because I did not want to lose that. I was losing touch with so many things. I should have mentioned this at the start of the video. Coming into the UK, I did not work for 8 years of my married life, and jumping into the UK work system, I now had to be the one out of the house so much that I lost touch. As in, I was so out of touch. I was constantly tired. I was nagging at my children, and there's some certain words that some of the patients, especially those who had dementia or Alzheimer's, some of them would have some certain words that they would repeat over and over on the ward. And when I come home, if I hear that even in a sentence, it may not be if I hear those words in a sentence, it might be a church member that is talking to me, or I hear something said in the supermarket or something. If I hear one of those words, the way my mood would change, and it just affected me psychologically. There was one particular word that I hated. Help me. There's one patient who would say that word over and over and over again. I remember one night when I had worked on that word and I came home. I was trying to sleep. My youngest son was trying to call his brother's attention, I think to lace up his shoe or do something for him, and it was, I don't know whatever it is they were doing, but he was just saying that word, oh, come and help me, and the anger, oh my god, it was terrible that day. I got up with so much anger and I looked at him like, never ever say that word again. Like, I was so furious. Like, I didn't want to hear certain words like that used to trigger me. Like, I would feel so much anger. I don't even know how to explain it. Well, just things like that. Now, when the opportunity came to leave the care home and move to mental health, I jumped at it because I felt like I was choking, I was drowning, and I needed help. Today's video is proudly sponsored by Bob and Brad. They are no stranger to us. They've sent us the M7 Plus massage gun, and this one uses shiatsu. This is your go-to for instant relief. It strikes a perfect balance between power and size. It's easy to carry around and it guarantees quick relief and maximum relaxation. It comes with a manual. It also comes with a bag, has drawstrings in there. You get the massager as well as 5 other heads, a charger. It uses a C-type to USB charger. This is the bullet head, the U-shaped head, the heat head, the air cushion head, and finally the ball head. This is the gun itself, and it has the charging port as well as the one button here, and these are just the indicator lights. It shows you the speed it's on. I'm using the heat head, and the heat head itself has a power button here. It also has a charging port where you charge the heat head. So this is heating up now. I want to turn on the massager here. This is some deep tissue massage. You can also use this as a post-workout massager. Now this is the sort of thing that you need for that lower back pain, that pain I told you about. I've reviewed 4 other Bob and Brad products, and I will tell you for free that their products work. They know what they are doing. They have over 60 years of experience, and the brand itself, Bob and Brad, is 13 years, so they know their stuff. And this product has great review. Don't take my word for it, check them out yourself. The link to this product will be listed in the description box. Also, they have given my amazing subscribers some amazing discounts to partake of. This one is so portable, you can literally take it along with you anywhere. Thank you again to Bob and Brad for sponsoring this segment of the video. You guys know what to do, so let's continue with the rest of today's video. So I went for the interview with my neighbor, and thankfully we both got the job. Life just became easier at that point, and with working in the mental health hospital, I was given more emotional support rather than personal care. The only time where anything got physical was when we had to restrain or when we had to administer medication to patients who were resisting, so things like that. It wasn't like an everyday occurrence, so I kind of had a break from the physical aspect of things when it came to healthcare. I was thriving with mental health, and I really loved it. It was a major break for me. I'm sure I've mentioned this before in one of my videos, but I went into healthcare with the plan of scaling up to become a midwife, because that was one of my passions and I wanted to, go all the way. But after working so many hours with my young family suffering for it, I had a change of mind, because I felt like this was just too many hours, and I don't know if it's sustainable for me. That and a whole bunch of other reasons just made me change my mind entirely. However, there are people who are still doing this work and are enjoying it. They are really benefiting from it and are scaling up in it. So it wasn't for me. It might be for someone else. Now, when I moved into mental health, like I said, things got a lot easier. I was also able to scale up, and I was at the verge of, applying for team lead when the opportunity came to leave healthcare completely and, do something else. And that was around the time where we were leaving Darlington and we were moving to the village. Now, when I had to leave, it was kind of sad, but it was what it was. Also, at that time, my husband was done schooling and he had gotten a good job that was going to take me away from there. So I didn't have to work so many hours. So I cut back my hours, and I was now working with an agency. Now, this agency would send me out to like different areas, homes, patients' homes in my area. So it was more like domiciliary care, but it was with an agency. And obviously with agencies, you get paid a lot better than what you would be getting from a care home. But with that, I didn't do so much personal care, because most of the patients that this particular agency had, they were still very active, but they just needed emotional support. So it was just someone to talk to, someone to prepare their meals for them and things like that. So that was what I went back to when my husband started working full-time. When we had to move from Darlington to this place, I had to stop work altogether and start looking for work in this area, and the care jobs were not forthcoming. I wasn't even looking to go back to care because I felt like I had escaped and I was not going back. So I wasn't applying. However, I had to start applying there again, because I was not getting any jobs in this area, because obviously with population and everything, I knew that I couldn't be picky if I didn't want to be out of job for too long. I carried it along, obviously, with my job search and all of that. And when I was able to get a corporate job, I carried you guys along. Now, when I got into corporate, you people did not hear what, because I was the joy was, I was over the moon. It was normal time. Like, I'll go to work, after the boys have gone to school. I was able to, help my husband with the children, and it was like the family was restored. I had a 9 to 5. I was thriving. I was really excited. Now, from that corporate job, I'm now working with the NHS, and I'm not interfacing with patients, praise the Lord. I am now working in more of a quality control department, and I'm excited. I'm relieved that portion of my life is over. This was my experience. Now, it does not necessarily have to be the experience of every other person. Some of them, because of the dynamics of their family as well, they are also looking to cut back on the number of hours that they're working or the number of days that they're working in a week. And now with the trend of things, and if you look at how the UK is even structured or the plans that they have moving forward, you will know that they are looking more at strategic courses. I've spoken about that in a number of my videos. And if you are looking to scale up, I would say do something that will cause you to be relevant, with where the UK is moving forward to. If you want to stay in healthcare, there is a lot that you can do that is not bedside nursing if it is not for you. However, if you enjoy bedside nursing, stay there and scale up. Do your MVQs and climb the ladder. But if you're like me and you're looking to have a shift, I have been making moves. I haven't spoken much about it, but those who are close to me, or if you follow me on Instagram, I have been giving hints here and there about moving and transitioning into tech. This is also one of the reasons why I have cut down my uploads to just 1 day a week. And if you're like me, you're looking for something you can do from the comfort of your home, there are lots of opportunities for you to take advantage of. I will be speaking more of this in my coming videos, but this is the stage that we're in right now. But yeah, this is Tola 2.0, if you will. So yeah, Tola is a tech girl now, and she is going into it. In fact, she's into it already, and you will get to hear more about it in subsequent posts. So don't just ask me, where is this tech coming from? It has been there, but it's been underground, and it's coming out now. It is coming out now. If you want to move from healthcare to tech, I will be bringing people to talk about this and how you can transition, how you can make the moves yourself, and what you need to be doing just so that your transition is smooth, and also just so that it pays off in the end for you. Today, if you found this video helpful, please, you know what to do. Give it a huge thumbs up. It does a lot to help my analytics. Also, let's carry on the conversation in the comment section. I do my best to respond to every single person. I will see you guys in my next one.